Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be starting a four-part series on what I call maybe the parenting style or something. So let me give you a background story. I think during the week or sometime ago, really, I was going through Twitter and I saw someone who put up a post and the person said, comment here. So anyway, let me just paraphrase because I can't remember exactly how the person put it out. So the person just said something like, so if you were raised by strict parents, please comment here how that has affected you. And I took my time to go through the comment. I couldn't go through all the comments because there were a lot, but I kind of found a pattern in what people were saying. And that reminded me that I've actually done a study on the four approaches of parenting, or maybe the four styles of parenting. Some of us might have heard of them, some of us maybe not. When you talk of the permissive, the authoritative, the authoritarian, what's the last one again? I can't remember off the top of my head now. So seeing that post again, it kind of reminded me that honestly, sometimes we just parent the way we think, oh, I'm just doing it. And then we don't pay attention to some of those things that actually become an habit in our children. So the person basically said, so what are some habits that you develop as a result of being raised by strict parents? So over the next couple of weeks, maybe 4 weeks, I'm going to be talking about the fourth type of parenting. And of course, today I'm going to be starting with the authoritarian approach to parenting. The authoritarian, pardon my English, the authoritarian, which is basically like the strict approach to parenting. So the people who use this approach, now bear in mind that we just parent whichever way we deem fit to us. And so we sometimes don't pay attention to it. But these four styles of parenting have been proven in research. There are theories all over the internet about it. Psychologists have done their bit. So it's something that is tested and proven, and you would definitely see it if you check every parent. You are probably parenting using one, maybe consciously or unconsciously. But anyway, today I'm going to be starting with the authoritarian approach of parenting. This is the type of parenting that is focused solely on discipline, on rules, and on obedience. You will find that parents who use this type of approach, even though they may not know that is what they are doing, they are solely focused on discipline, on order, on rules. And so they have little or no room for a child's voice. In that style of parenting, the child probably has no say or little say in the decisions that their parent makes. You find that parents in this category, they are more focused on rules. They lack what I would call flexibility or warmth. So you would see that they have high expectations and low warmth or flexibility. This type of parenting approach, of course, there is no parenting approach that does not have its pro or its cons. One good thing about this type of approach is it creates order. Trust me. Children who are raised by very strict parents, yeah, children who are raised by parents who are very strict, you will find them that they are the ones that the society will term the very disciplined child, because they have been taught to follow order. They have been groomed to just kind of follow rules in a way. And so they are a bit rigid. There's no room for flexibility. Basically, they know to follow rules. They know they are like the prim and proper, what we would call the prim and proper child of the society. So that's one of the main characteristics that you will see in a child who was being raised by authoritarian parenting. However, as beautiful as wanting to have a child who is well behaved, who is obedient is, they might also then develop some habits. You would begin to see that children who are raised with this type of parenting approach, they are likely to be children that would end up becoming people pleaser. They just want to do things to please people because they usually do not have a say in the decisions that their parents make, or they rarely give their opinion on things, and so they just want to do things to satisfy everybody, because all the things they do while growing up is just to make their parent happy, so to say. It's just to do what their parents have said. So you will find that these children, they may then grow up to become people or to become adults who are people pleaser. And trust me, we don't want our children to be a people pleaser. As much as it's good for them to be want to be loved by people, we also don't want them to be children who are people pleaser, because they would never choose themselves first. They would always choose others, placing others before themselves. And to be honest, even the Bible teaches us to love our neighbor as ourselves, not to love our neighbor more than we love ourselves. So children who are raised with authoritarian parenting approach, they will likely become a people pleaser. Another thing you might see, another habit that you might see in children who are raised by authoritarian parents, is that they would have difficulty making decisions. Yes, because they have never been given that platform or that ability to make their own decisions, or to maybe even contribute to things in the home. Yes, I know that because we are parents, we kind of feel like, oh, we know how things should be done. But if you are a good follower of mine, or if you have watched some of my videos, you would see how I say that when we need to do things as a family, we should always get the children involved. If you want to um, it's something as simple as, okay, what do we have for dinner today? I know some moms, we have food timetable. I have a mental timetable in my head, but there are days that I just ask the boys and my husband, okay, what do you guys think we should have for dinner? Even though off the top of my head I feel like, okay, it's beans we should have, but I ask them. Or want to watch a movie, I let the children make the choices. So those little things, it would help them. But children who is just what mommy or what daddy says, you will find out that they would not be able to make decisions, or they would have difficulty making decisions. And that's why it's important for us as parents to pay attention to what approach we are using. Let's give room for the children. Let's let them also have say in conversation. Ask for their opinions on things. If you see something happening, I've asked my children. As a matter of fact, I ask my children things a lot. Like, I just see something trending and I raise it and I say, so what do you guys think about it? They say their opinion. That way, I'm trying to weigh what's happening in their head. Anyway, children who are raised by authoritarian parents, they would likely have difficulty making decisions. The other thing is children who are raised by authoritarian parents, they would have that fear of failure. They don't want to fail because all their lives they have learned not to want to disappoint mommy or to daddy. So they fear failure. And so if they fail, the way their resilience is really, really bad, because they would not have learned how to respond to failure. Because maybe when they have failed in time past, their parents have probably, I don't know, maybe disciplined them so bad, or just punished them, not discipline them. Discipline is good, punishment is the one that is not healthy. Maybe they have punished them so bad that they don't ever want to fail. They have the children that want to be the top position in class. Is it bad for children to have top position in class? Absolutely no. But we need to know that there is more to life than book. There is more to life than I'm intelligent. There is more to life than I'm the best in my class. So children who are raised by authoritarian parents, they would have the tendency to fear failing. And at one point or the other, people will fail in life. And that's the absolute truth about life. It's not a cause, it's just the truth. It is life. You will not always win. Yeah. There are some battles you will win, there are some that you will lose. And so it's important for children to know that failure is a part of life, it's part of the learning process. The other thing is children who are raised by authoritarian parents, they do not know how to show their emotions. They hide their emotions. Even when they are in love with someone or when they really want to do something, that fear, because they have not been shown how to express their emotions, they have never really gotten the room to freely express themselves, to freely say, I'm sad that you did this to me, or I'm hungry that X, Y, and Z happened. They would learn to hide their emotions, and then they would bottle up a lot. So if you find someone who is bottling up a lot, if you find someone who doesn't know how to express their emotions, it's probably because they never got the chance to as a child. And so they naturally grow up into adults hiding their emotions, not wanting people to see when they are vulnerable, not wanting people to see when they are down. So these are the kind of things that we need to even start paying attention to as parents. So if you notice that your child don't like to be vulnerable around you, they hide their emotions, then it's time for us to start paying attention to how we are parenting them. The last tendency or the last habit that we might see in children who are raised by authoritarian parents is that they would silently rebel. Yeah. Some of them, the moment they get that chance to, like, they go out of that zone where mommy and daddy is, they would begin to rebel silently. And that one is very, I think that's actually worse than a child who a child who openly rebels you. You know exactly what to do, you know where to come in. But for a child who silently rebels, everything you have told the child not to do is now what the child is doing, and you don't know. That is you raising a pretentious child. Nobody wants their child to be a pretender or to be an hypocrite. But the moment the children see that it's all about rules, it's all about rules. When you are there, they would do it to your face. They would let you see that they are obeying rules. But when you are not there, they go against every rule that you are giving them. They break all the rules. And that's actually the danger of just wanting our children to follow rules all of their life. Am I saying we shouldn't be firm with our children? Absolutely no. I am a very firm parent. If you know me, you know I discipline my children, but we always have to talk about it because I have let them know that for every of your action, there is a consequence. So the point of today's video is for us parents, it is to bring our attention to these things. We might not be doing it consciously, I know, but you need to begin to look for some of these patterns in your child or even maybe in yourself. So if you find yourself responding to life or responding to things in a certain way, I'm a counselor, by the way. And for anything you come into counselor with, we always want to find the root cause. And most of this root cause is deeply seated in childhood trauma. That is where a lot of issue actually comes from. Someone will come into therapy telling you that, oh, they're anxious. By the time you dig deep, you want to find what is the root cause of their anxiety, something in their childhood, something that has happened to them when they were a child. And that is why it's important for us as parents to be intentional, to pay attention to how we parent our child. So if you find that you are on this divide of parenting, on this divide of authoritarian parenting, where you know, oh, for me, I just want my children to just be prim and proper. They need to obey my rules. They need to obey me. I have to discipline them. I have to punish them. Then it might be time for us to just take it a bit low. The essence of this video is to bring awareness, to just bring awareness to us. So the moment you are aware that, oh, it looks like this is the path I am towing, then that's the beginning of healing, if I may say, or the beginning of correction. If you don't know that something is a problem, there is never going to be a solution. But the moment you understand that, oh, it looks like this is actually a pattern and this is likely going to end up being a problem, that's the beginning of solution. So today I hope you would pay attention to these things. What I want us to do on the back of this video is do a bit of assessment of how we parent our child. I know in the previous video I've talked about parenting your child and your child obeying you not because they trust you, but out of fear. So, a child that is obeying their parent out of fear, you would probably find that that parent is on the divide of an authoritarian parenting. So, it's basically bringing these things to our faces for us to pay attention to them and begin to adjust where we deem fit. So, if you think you find any of this in yourself or in your child, that's the beginning of healing. The point is there is no perfect parenting, there's no perfect parent, like I always say, but we want to be parents who are present in the lives of our children and who can provide them that support that they need as they go on their life's journey. Next week, we'll be going into the next approach of parenting, where we will talk about another style of parenting. I hope you've learned something new today. Please share with us in the comment section. If peradventure you know someone who was raised by a very strict parent, what are some habits that you are seeing in them? Share with us. And peradventure, what then happens as people go on in life is when people identify this pattern, even as adults, when we identify this pattern, there is always help. We can then begin to work on ourselves. We can then begin to think of, okay, how do I break this toxic habit? That is the essence of all of this type of video for us to be aware and for us to begin to work on getting better. So please share with us in the comment section if you were raised by a strict parent. By the way, I was raised by one. My father is very strict, but that is it's just for another time. And so I know some toxic habits that I had that I wouldn't say I have totally healed of them, because if I come here to tell you that I've healed of them, I'm lying. But I know that I have a lot improved on some of the things that I used to do, that now I'm like, oh, I've grown. So that's actually the beauty of this. So if you were raised by a fellow strict parent, so if you were raised by a strict parent like myself, please share with us in the comment section what some habits that you noticed in yourself, and then how you were able to break those habits. You'll be helping me, you'll be helping other parents who will be watching this video, and all of us together, we will be able to raise children who are emotionally balanced. Please do not forget to like, to comment, to share, and most importantly, please subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so, so that every time a new video comes up, you will be the first to get notified. Till I come your way again, keep winning.